Do you want to do hot pot at home but aren't sure how to start? In this video, I'll show you how to do hot pot in an electric pot and how to do it over a stove, how to make 2 easy broths, and how to get thinly sliced meats and sides, and how to make a dipping sauce. So let's get started. There are 2 ways to do hot pot at home, on an electric pot or over a stove. Hot pot is usually done around a pot that is consistently heated on a table with room enough for plates of thinly sliced raw meat, seafood, and sides. With an electric pot, it's the easiest method. It's a large pot with a divider for 2 different kinds of soups and includes a heating element below. You plug it in and it's ready to go. For the stove method, you can use a gas-powered camping stove, a portable induction stove, or a stove that's on a kitchen island, and you eat around it. So if you don't know what an induction stove is, it's electric and it has a flat surface. With an induction single burner, it has to be plugged into a wall, so you'd have to think about how to connect it to a power source from the dining table. The advantage of the induction stove is that it has no flame, and you can only use stainless steel or cast iron pots and pans on it. Keep in mind that it's loud as well because it has a fan noise going. With a gas stove, it's cordless, so you don't have to worry about dealing with extension cords getting in the way, but there's an open flame, so if you have small children, that's something to be aware of. And you need to buy gas cans to operate this. Then for the stove method, you'll need a pot. You can use a pot you already have or buy a pot with a divider that's made for hot pot. Each pot can accommodate 2 to 4 people. You can do hot pot for a family get-together or date night, or even a girls' night in. Next, let's go shopping for meats and sides at the Asian supermarket. In the butcher section, you can find refrigerated meats like thinly sliced pork and thinly sliced beef, ribeye. This is perfect for hot pot because it cooks really fast and it still tastes really good. Also near this section, you can find fried fish strips and fish balls and fish cake. Let's go to the vegetable section and grab some watercress. I like these because they cook very fast. They're very small leaves, and I also like the taste of it in soups. Next, I'm getting enoki mushrooms. These are small mushrooms that also cook really fast. And getting choy sum. Near the veggie section, you can find miso paste. We're going to make miso soup as one of the soups, and I like to get the white one because it's lighter in flavor. Next, we're going to go to the dried food section, and we're going to grab dried black fungus. In Chinese, this one is called wanyi, or cloud ears. I like this because it has health properties, and I just like to eat it. After that, we're going to head down the soy sauce section. And this is where we're going to get our dipping sauces. This takes the longest to find. So I'm getting sesame paste, which tastes like peanut butter. And oyster sauce. The green one is gluten-free, so I always grab that one. And then we're going to get Chinese barbecue sauce and hoisin sauce. First, I'm making a chicken bone broth soup. I'm cutting up carrots, celery, and onions, making sure they're like equal sizes. Next, in a large stock pot, I'm going to add oil and just cover the bottom. We're going to throw in all this onion, carrots, and celery in there. We're going to stir fry it a little bit. And then we're going to add some garlic. I like to use frozen garlic cubes, add 3 of them in there. Now I'm going to season this with salt and pepper. And just stirring it until it gets translucent, and then I'm going to add the bone broth. I like to use this Trader Joe's organic bone broth. Bone broth just gives it more flavor than regular broth. And close the lid and boil it for 15 minutes. Next, I'm going to make our miso broth. First, I start with kombu, and I put 2 of them in there and 7 cups of water. And I'm not going to let it come to a boil, so I'm going to boil it very low. And after 10 minutes, I'm going to take it out. I'm making sure to shake out all the water because I want to keep this broth that we just made. Next, we're going to add in dried bonito flakes, which is dried tuna, So this is about 3 cups of dried bonito flakes. You can put a little bit more if you want more flavor. I'm heating this on medium low until it starts boiling. That might take a while, so you have to move it around, and sometimes it starts boiling underneath. And you're just gonna let it boil for 30 seconds. Then turn off the heat and let it sit for 10 minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna slice up some green onions really thinly. And then I'm gonna add in some seaweed. I didn't have wakame seaweed, so I cut up Korean seaweed, and I'm gonna soak this to let it expand. Next, we're gonna slice up some tofu. This is soft tofu, cut into little cubes. Now it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm removing the bonito flakes from the broth and making sure I'm getting all the water out, all the broth that we've made. Now it's ready for miso paste. So I am adding 8 tablespoons of miso paste. This is the white miso. I just like the lighter taste. To dissolve the miso paste, I'm going to add a little bit of the broth we just made, like 2 ladles, and I'm going to whisk it until it's smooth. Miso paste is so thick that it needs a little help to dissolve it. This works really well. And then I'm going to add it back into our soup, the broth that we just made. And look, check this out. So I'm putting it in. Then I'm going to give it a stir, and look at that beautiful cloudy miso soup. Now we're going to add in the rehydrated seaweed that we soaked earlier. This has a lot of vitamins. Now we're going to add in our chopped tofu. I'm only putting a few in there, saving the rest for the sides later. And I'm going to add in the sliced green onions. And now our miso soup is done. Now we're going to pour the soups into an electric pot. And I'm putting the miso soup on the right side. Each side holds about 7 cups of water. I don't like to fill it up all the way because you need room, to put in food. And on the left side, I'm adding the chicken bone broth. This soup is so good, has so much flavor with the garlic and the onions and carrots and celery. It's a great broth for hot pot. Now I'm going to prep the vegetables and the meats. So I'm going to wash all the vegetables, this choy-sum, the watercress, soak the mushrooms as well, and also lay out the meat. Here's how to make my favorite dipping sauce. It has oyster sauce, Chinese barbecue sauce, and there's hoisin sauce, and then sesame paste. I have a bowl of chopped garlic, and I'm going to put oyster sauce in here. I'm going to put equal amounts of each sauce. And then the Chinese barbecue sauce, the hoisin sauce, and then the sesame paste. Then give it a good stir. First, I'll show you hot pot with electric pot and then one over a stove. First, it's hot pot in an electric pot. So you plug it in, the lights turn on. I kept it at between low and medium. Medium is when it starts to really boil. Look at how beautiful that looks. We put on the vegetables into little bowls and the fish sticks and the thinly sliced meat and the mushrooms, tofu, and pork. And it's ready to enjoy. First, we added some fried fish sticks and then some thinly sliced ribeye. And then some thinly sliced pork as well. Then added the black cloud ears and bok choy. Give it a stir. You guys really have to try this miso soup and the chicken bone broth. They both have so much flavor, but I kind of favored the miso soup a little bit more. I also forgot to show the noodles I use. It's Trader Joe's Thai wheat noodles. Now let's move over to hot pot over a stove. This is day 2, and I'm using the leftovers to do hot pot for me. So this is how I would do hot pot for one person. I just have a smaller amount of everything. So I have the thinly sliced ribeye. So this is the gnocchi mushrooms, the watercress, the bok choy. This is the dried black Chinese mushroom. And then I have Thai wheat noodles from Trader Joe's. And then my dipping sauce. And it's nice to have a plate to slide in the meat. Next, I'm adding the noodles. So I'm cooking those two first and then taking them out because there's not a lot of room in the pot. After that, I'm going to add in the vegetables and cook them. Now let's eat my hot pot meal. This is what my plate looks like. Sometimes I like to put the meat on a separate plate so that I could dip it and eat it. I gotta mix this sauce a little more. Try the meat again. Oh my goodness, you guys. That is good. I ladled some broth in here so I can make like a little noodle soup. I mean, the soup is the best part of this. You have to try it as a noodle soup. Is hot pot worth doing? I think it's worth doing because you can customize it. Like you customize your broth, you can customize how you want it to taste. You know exactly what is in your food. If you have food allergies, then I think this is definitely worth doing because you can totally like control your ingredients. I would suggest not doing everything all at once. Don't go grocery shopping and then prepare the food and then cook the broths and then do the hot pot in the same day. It was stressful for me to do everything all in one day and film. I suggest just going grocery shopping one day and then prepping it another day, maybe even making the broths ahead of time or having someone help you. Also, if you have any questions, leave me a comment below and I'll answer it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. See you next time. Bye.